would happen. Yeah, that article seemed really good.
Oh, tell me about because I haven't read it yet.
Oh no, it's okay.
Let me
It's
open it.
it's pretty brief.
Oh,
It
Impulsivity in the Adoptee by
yeah,
Dr. Barbara Sumner. We love her.
yeah, I was it spoke to me a lot. And I was thinking it's been kind of like this recurring theme this week, people talking about adoptees, talking about either impulsivity versus chronic illness too. And the fact that like even the binary of the obedient and compliant adoptee versus the rebellious adoptee. So I'd say the impulsive adoptee probably more arguably represented in that in the community of adoptees who are rebellious. And then the idea of chronic illness and like the manifestation of chronic illness as like a performative or like not being able to express your truth, your true feelings, so it like festers inside and becomes like the dis-ease you feel from not being able to be yourself turns into disease.
No way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was talking on the phone with someone and it came up, Paul Fronzak's story.
Mhm.
We were talking about that again and how, the Paul Fronzak got cancer like after finding out who he was and then
Yeah.
did not last very long. And that is making me think of what you're saying. Like,
100%. I see it. I have a friend who passed away from cancer, and I wanted to be like, how much of your life was like sadly, and you felt forced to, I don't want to like demonize or make her victim blamed, but people pleasing. And the fact that you felt that you had to put yourself last. And we see that a lot in our culture, especially with things like cancer or autoimmune disease. I know Gabor Mate talks about this too at the end of the Wisdom of Trauma, like these recurrent themes about what's going on in people's psyches that succumb to or are dealing with battling cancer.
I am even like stressed out now and my forehead's breaking out, you know? And that never happens. Like I never break out. It's because
No.
I have an event next week, but it's true. It's a good reminder, I'm trying to like, don't be stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so easy to do.
Right? Yeah. Let me add that to the list. Don't be stressed out.
We were gonna do an emergency pod a week ago, like,
I know.
and then then nothing happened. It was such a boring week.
And then we
I'm
were
glad
like,
we
oh
didn't do it.
gosh, too much is happening. Can we get some balance, please? That's actually perfect because we're heading towards Libra season, and Libra's all about balance. So
Do you think
maybe.
it will?
There's a lot of,
What does that look like? I'm like,
I want to be more positive than I feel, but
um, I feel like I'm just so angry and the blaming and othering a whole swath of the country as leaders. I feel like that's not sustainable and it's not going to work. I have some hope that there's enough people that get that that is so lame and
hmm
wrong.
hmm
But I mean, fish rots from the head, right?
very true. And I feel like there's almost like this, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but this inadvertent, probably capitalizing on the fact that there is so much in flux right now and so much chaos and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, as long as people are fearful and divided and distracted, and there's a lot that we're managing, let's just continue to kind of like turn the key or whatever, like kind of salt in the wound, like really, or turn the knife. There it is, not the
Oh
key.
yeah, twist the knife in it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like we can't even get our ourselves upright enough to recognize that the knife is being twisted and to the degree that it's being twisted. And it's like, well, wait a minute, we actually want to hold all of you accountable. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like this isn't the world, this isn't even the country that we thought we had.
No.
very not too long ago. So it's just really dysregulating, I think, because we were used to going days and weeks without thinking about the president or
Hmm.
what was going on.
Hmm.
So, but they don't seem to want us to be able to do our lives
No,
anymore,
not
which
at all. I remember telling you, sharing with you when coming back from Greece and feeling like I was like coming back to the war zone, like coming back to ground zero and like the energy and everything. And it's like, it feels so heavy right now. But then at the same time, it's like the only way out is through, maybe. Like maybe it will get better because we're churning through what feels like, hopefully, knock on every tree, the worst part. I say that with a lot of caution, but
I know. And I'm like, it's so bizarre to be planning like a big event
hmm.
next week because it seems like so much could happen. And part of me is like, I want to go back to Greece. There's cheap tickets from New York. Should I just, because it
See how
feels,
things go and go after the event.
but that's the runaway. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It,
Yeah.
it was weird being over there. I think I was more stressed out than I am here. There's something about like, you almost can't
Mm.
go there like you can when you're away.
Hmm.
But that's all they wanted to talk about in Greece too,
Yeah.
was what was happening in America. Because everybody knows we're all connected.
Yeah. I was honestly, when before I went, I was like, should I even tell people I'm American? Like, it's kind of obvious, but I'll just say I'm Canadian. I'll just say I'm like some way less controversial country, but
But they were cool, right?
oh
They
yeah.
weren't, yeah.
No, they were interested in hearing things. The only weird comment I got was there was a school group at like one of the ancient sites, like doing like a Greek, like they were just having a field trip and they started like heckling, I guess you could say, like, oh, Americans, oh, how do you feel about your president? And but it was just one kid, and I was like, not really talking to anyone directly. So I was just like,
Hmm.
oh, is that really it? Which is kind of funny because my parents were possibly a little xenophobic with this, but they kept warning me about the Roma people and like how I need to be careful when I'm walking down the street and everything like that. And I was like, and I never even encountered anybody until the last night. This little boy at like midnight with a tiny cup, a toddler, was like asking for money. And I was like, really? This is who I'm supposed to be fearing? So it was kind of funny that it's like the one person that was the scary person who was gonna rob me was a toddler, and the person who was gonna give me grief about politics was a high schooler. So very tame.
I love those stories though. I love the Roma families. I mean, they hustled though. I'd see them at 2 a.m. in the if I was ever in the train station, they'd be like whole family packing everything up that knew how to move all
Yeah,
this stuff like very quickly. And that was, I don't know.
yeah.
It's, it,
An alternative lifestyle for sure.
yeah. And then you think about like, oh my gosh, um, what is the future of our country? And like, what are we going to have to do? I'm like listening to this podcast. It's not doomsday prepping, but it's called Practical Preppers. And this hilarious couple from Northern Alabama with
Hmm.
really rich Alabama accents. They
Hmm.
don't talk about politics or anything. They're it's really, I'm like, is this what we're doing? But we, like,
You're like, I don't recognize myself. Wait a minute.
who am I? Do I need to get a rain bucket and learn how to like purify water?
Right. I know. I couldn't prep. I know it. I'd probably like spend the first month hyperventilating. Like, so a paper bag is what I'm gonna need to prep
Yeah,
for.
that's good. Let's just have paper bags. I think I have one right there. We're good. Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Yeah, it's so but the moon was so
Oh,
beautiful. That was a blood moon, right?
yeah, it was within the eclipse, there's a bunch of different names for all the different moons and everything, but yeah, seeing that red, it's actually what's interesting about full moons and full moon eclipses is the red that you're seeing projected is actually all of the sunsets and sunrises that are happening on the other side of the world being projected forward. And when I read that and understood it, like as far as like the geometry of what's going on, I was like, that is the most beautiful unifying
Wow.
vision, that like we're all, even if it's daytime and they're not necessarily looking at the moon across the world, they're seeing the beautiful sunrise and we're seeing it projected right here. Like, oh,
Oh, that's such a good reminder. I love that.
yeah. It was the universal consciousness feeling of it, which I think is what we were supposed to be feeling into because the moon was in Pisces, that sign of oneness and connectedness.
Which is our theme. Haven't we talked about it that in every conversation we've had?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that thread of it's going to be okay because of that,
Yeah.
that
And
interconnectedness.
remembering that like we're here for a purpose, our souls incarnated right now for this journey. And as much as we all have free will, so we didn't necessarily sign up for the events of this week or this lifetime, we're still here with tools and resources and skills and journeys and goals, and all of that can be accomplished for each and every one of us pushing humanity forward.
Yeah. And rejecting bombs. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I hate that people have those and use them.
Mm. Mm.
But Nepal, I don't think about Kathmandu, but we should just because that's an amazing city name.
Yeah.
But they were like, this is ridiculous. The inequality is ridiculous, and we're doing something about it. And they
Yeah.
did it. It's
Hmm.
like that's the energy that exists, and they know that. They know the people what we want, and we don't want this inequality that's not sustainable and killing our shared habitat. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I love that you said that about the sunsets because I'm gonna remember that and I didn't know it because that's everything.
Yeah. It really is. And it's like when we take that moment to really tune into our environment and be present, like there's so many messages from the universe, spirit, from nature, from Mother Earth that are saying, like, hey, don't forget, like, we're all in this together. And it's like, even though we may not agree with someone, or we may not feel the same way, or we may not react the same way, or we may be offended or hurt or, you know, used and abused, at the same time, that abuse is hurting everyone, not just the person at the center of it. So if we're able to lift each other up, whether we agree or disagree, it's about showing each other that it's safe to be yourself. It's safe to grow. You will be loved. There is humanity through each and every one of us, and getting in touch with that is really the point here. We're here to have a human experience. What we do with that is up to us. Are we going to project light into the world, or are we going to be kind of bringing it into ourselves and absorbing it and projecting darkness, unfortunately?
Yes, and I think everyone needs to just stop and consider like, is this person talking to me trying to other
Hmm.
my fellow human
Hmm.
compatriot in this world? And is that good?
Hmm.
Or can I just like not listen to that message? I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing we all need to do to get through this right now and be just stop the othering.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember hearing about this like journey towards the higher path with regards to being in traffic was the analogy. And it's like you have someone riding, you're in the lane or whatever, and someone zooms up behind you and they're tailing you and everything like that. And it's like, well, are you gonna start speeding ahead too? Are you gonna respond to that like that? Or are you gonna get angry and start slowing down? Are you gonna react like that? Are you gonna move over and let them pass you? Because, and a lot of people are like, that's the best course of action. Just get out of the way, keep yourself safe. And then there's the thought of like, stay in that lane, stay present and steady, because what you're actually doing is creating more safety for everyone around you by being like, actually, I'm going to be steadfast and sturdy in this. I'm going to be grounded in this moment, not react to this person. And in a way, too, you're being mindful of the safety of the person behind you, too, because they're not able to hurt themselves by acting that way.
That
But
makes a good driver. And
yeah,
you like a good driver is always conscious of the other ones in their space. A bad driver, just like
so
not.
it's like, how do we become a good driver of our soul, of our energy? How do we start doing things that, of course, I'm not saying like if there's really a dangerous driver, you should put yourself out there as like, stop. Like, it's not like that. Still keep your safety in mind. Disclaimer, disclaimer. But it's like if you are able to affect change, affect stability, affect compromise within an energy, and you have the courage and the resource to do that, you're actually moving humanity forward by taking those steps.
Yes. Yes. I know you have to go, right? But this was a
My
good
daughter.
little like snack size pod if anyone needs to see our faces because it's been a minute.
I know.
So thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
hopping
you. I'm
on.
glad we did this, even though it was really quick. We can dive into a bunch of charts next week. I have a lot of ideas. So
Really? Okay, yeah, let's do it. But hello to everyone and thanks for being here and we'll see you soon.
awesome.
Cool.
Thanks. Amazing. And I'll send you the recording, of course.
Cool. Maybe I feel like I don't even have to edit it. I'll leave this in if anyone's still here. But
Hey, everyone.